In Northwest news, the Seattle police are going back on a promise. When a large gun buyback program was planned for Seattle, the police said they would not investigate any of the weapons traded for Amazon.com gift cards. But Seattle police are tracking down the history of a non-functional missile launcher that was turned in. Detective Mark Jameson said a man standing outside the event on Saturday bought the military weapon for $100 from another person there. It's a launch tube assembly for a Stinger portable surface-to-air missile. The single-use device had already been used. Detectives will work with the Army Criminal Investigation Command. Jameson said it's most likely that the launch tube was previously obtained unlawfully from the military and would likely be returned to Joint Base Lewis McChord. The buyback also created something organizers weren't expecting, a gun show. Seattle police received $70,000 in donations to offer Amazon.com gift cards in exchange for guns. People would receive a $100 gift card for pistols, rifles, or shotguns, and $200 for military-style weapons. As people lined up to turn in guns, so did people wanting to buy them. Several news agencies reported people holding signs near the buyback program offering higher cash prices than the gift cards. There are reports of people getting out of waiting lines for the gift cards and selling the guns. Some people were waving bundles of cash at the people coming in. Organizers of the buyback complained about how the guns were being purchased and called it a loophole. Seattle Mayor Mike McGinn told the press he wanted to make sure it couldn't happen again and denounced the private sale of firearms near the buyback program. Seattle police spokesman said they did not want to facilitate the private sale of guns, but they did say that it was legal. Authorities are searching for a 38-year-old man who escaped from a Spokane area jail. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office says Michael Wheeler escaped Sunday evening from Geiger Correction Center. He was in custody on a variety of charges, including assault, burglary, and possession of a stolen vehicle. The Sheriff's Office says he was last seen shortly before 6 p.m. in the jail's kitchen area. Wheeler is described as a Caucasian, standing 5 foot 8 inches tall and wearing a tan or blue jumpsuit. Law officers using a search dog were unable to find Wheeler in a close check around the West Plains facility. The public is asked to call 911 if he is spotted. Government officials are working to determine who owns a ship that sank in Tacoma. The 167-foot Helena Star sank Friday at a marina, leaving its stern sticking out of the water. Its mast ended up leaning on another ship, the 130-foot Golden West, which caused it to list. Coast Guard Petty Officer Nathan Bradshaw says residual fuel from the Helena Star is contained in an oil boom. Both ships had fuel removed from them last year. The Coast Guard and state agencies are trying to identify the owners who would be responsible for cleanup and salvage costs. The owner of the Golden West has been identified, but investigators are still trying to identify an owner of the Helena Star. In other maritime news, the state is finding the owner of a derelict barge for spilling oil into the Columbia River during an illegal salvage operation in 2011. The State Department of Ecology announced today they would levy a $405,000 fine against Brett Simpson and his company, Principal Metals. The agency says it found that the spill was caused by Simpson's negligence and that he failed to notify the state about the spill. The spill took 10 months and more than $22 million in federal money to clean up. The derelict barge, called the Davy Crockett, was a 431-foot long converted World War II-era ship. Simpson pleaded guilty in federal court last July for failing to report a discharge of oil and unlawfully discharging oil into the Columbia River. That's going to do it for us here at iFIBER 1 News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.